Hello everybody, welcome back to another Guess the Banzuke, and this time I'm not going to forget to submit it. But to start us off first, we have something brand new, a sponsorship with Path of Cha. So I'll take a minute here to explain how you can start your journey with tea. This is completely unscripted. I didn't write this down or anything, but I have been sampling some things from Path of Cha, as they have sent me some samples because they were interested in marketing through me because it's relevant to the sumo. Drink Japanese green tea just like the sumo wrestlers do, or a lot more pu'er teas, black teas, oolong teas, and more from all over Eastern Asia. Right now, I am drinking a Vietnamese black tea. Let's see if I can find it here. But yes, the Red Dragon Hong Long black tea, very delicious. But that's not the one I'm drinking right now. I'm actually drinking the Secret Forest from Vietnam. Very, very delicious. Mix it with a little bit of honey and you will be good to go. And I figured this would be a great sponsorship to take because tea, very relevant to sumo and Japanese culture, and lots of other cultures you can enjoy, such as, Taiwanese, Vietnamese, Japanese, Chinese, of course, all of those Eastern Asian countries with all of their unique teas. So be sure to use the link in the description below in order to get your Path of Cha started. And that's it for the advertisement. So we are here back again. Some fantastic things happening on this Banzuke. Right now, I'm just going to put over Terunofuji. We have a bunch of Judio promotions like Nabatame making his way back up, which everyone is excited for, which that really surprised me that the Nabatame video got so many thousands of views compared to everything else. Let me just take a second here to double check the viewership on that because what was it? Like a couple of days ago, it was at 14,000. And right now, let me double check. It's funny because, Onosato 2K views, top 10 matches 1K views. And then you have the Nabatame video, Nabatame 28,000 views. It's like, shoot, I guess I have to make a Mita video too, don't I? Everyone loves Futagoyama Stable, those sumo food guys. So, all right, all of the asides aside, let's start getting into the Banzuke guessing game here, where we do have a lot of obvious things that are going to be happening. Kotozakura, Hoshoryu holding their spot. Onosato, we're going to change this S on the Banzuke, that second Sekiwake slot, to an O. And Onosato will be moving up to that rank, and it will be Ozeki 2 West, because we'll have Terunofuji and Kotozakura on one side, Hoshoryu and Onosato on the other, and then we only have, one Sekiwake slot, one Komusubi slot, which was very easily done for us. Thank you, Abi. Kirishima is going to still occupy that slot. Abi, we are going to move him down a little bit. So let's actually do this. 5 and 10 from Sekiwake. Probably won't fall further than like Maegashira 2. So we'll just keep him right here for now. Actually, let's put him along the margins. Then, excuse me, something that I don't believe I've ever had to do on a Guess the Banzuke before. Takakeisho has retired. So Takakeisho will not be on this Banzuke at all. So I will put him down under the Judio demotions, but he's actually just Intai. And that does make room for someone else from Judio. Chiyoshoma, Toki Hayate, Shishi, all going to be on the come up. Will Takeru Fuji be on the come up? Maybe. I would like to see that, but we'll see. And in order to figure that out, I'm going to keep going from the top down. I know once before we've started from the bottom up, because it is fairly obvious who will be falling. Like, Kitano Waka will be falling. Shirokuma will be falling. Bushozan, Kinbozan, Kageaki all could realistically fall. So we'll put them all down here to start. But again, we'll see. That's why I'm going to go from top to bottom to see what it's going to look like near the bottom. And we'll also be able to query the Banzuke here, and you know what? Let me just start from the bottom. Kageaki, M11 with a 3-12 record. That doesn't happen too often, and the last time it did was Enho in 2020, fell to Judio 3. Before that was Kyokushuho in 2016, fell to Judio 2. So, in the modern era, will 100% fall to Judio. Now let's do M12 with a 4-11, and most of the time they're gonna fall to Judio. It's funny that Bushozan and Kinbozan are both falling with a 4-11. It looks like most of the time they will be falling to Judio. The last time they were saved was all the way back when there was a Maegashira 18 slot in 1959. So I think it's 100% that these guys will fall, which means Chiyoshoma, Tokihayate, Shishi, those were the obvious guys. But I think that means we might see Asakoryu. Oops. I think that means we might see Asakoryu and Takeru Fuji come back up because those losing records are so strong. And on top of that, we have Takakeisho going Intai. So it's a really odd situation here at the bottom. Kageaki, Bushozan, Kinbozan. Because 99% of the time, again, the last time someone was saved with such a horrible record from those exact positions was in the 50s, like 70 years ago. So incredibly unlikely that they would get saved now. But considering Asakoryu, Takeru Fuji are so low, and even looking at it, like including Takakeisho in this list, there's really nobody around that could move up. Like, that no one else could realistically move up. So one of these guys, or maybe two of these guys, maybe even all three of these guys could possibly be saved. Bushozan, Kinbozan, Kageaki could occupy those very bottom slots, because realistically, this Takakeisho Intai is making things tricky. He's just erased from the Banzuke that will move everybody up. And it does make sense. Like, if it was just these five, then Asakoryu and Takeru Fuji could move up. But because Takakeisho is Intai, that makes it a little tricky, because these guys, Kageaki, Bushozan, Kinbozan, will also technically move up before moving down. You know what I mean? And does that block out these guys, Asakoryu and Takeru Fuji? I know Kageaki will be below them, so the question is, do Bushozan and Kinbozan survive and leave Asakoryu and Takeru Fuji in Judio at like Judio 1? Let's take a quick look. So we have a Judio 11, 13 and 2. Doesn't happen too often, but every time it does, it's pretty close. Judio 1 or Maegashira 16, the very bottom there. Last time it happened, it was Judio 1 with Shimano Umi. And then we have a Judio 8, 11, and 4. I already feel like that's going to be a lot less likely to move up. And with that, we have a lot more records of that, and you can see barely any Maegashiras here. It looks like the median is Judio 2. That seems to be the average as well. Tensuyama coming off of an 11 and 4 to get that 12 and 3 Yusho. Good for him. But it looks like, very likely, Asakoryu and Takeru Fuji might not make it up. I'm going to make this like a very light blue. And then Bushozan and Kinbozan, I feel like they would survive. So I'm going to make that a little light red for now. I might come back to those guys later, because I do want to see what other people say. But I think it's guaranteed Kageaki will fall. These other guys might just be saved by this odd Takakeisho Intai. But again, Takakeisho going Intai, do we see something unusual like Kitanowaka only falling a half of a rank and these guys falling to make room? Could we see that? Kitanowaka Because we did see at the previous Basho something very unusual, where Nishiki Fuji survived at Maegashira 17. I'm a little bit in the way. Nishiki Fuji survived Maegashira 17 with a 6-9 record. So do we see something like that here, Kitano Waka, to make room for the fact that Bushozan, Kinbozan, Shirokuma Kageyaki, Takakeisho are out, save Kitano Waka, and promote Asakoryu and Takeru Fuji? That's a very interesting question. We'll come back to that, and we'll try to remember what we said here. But I think this might be the likely scenario we see. My tea is cooled off a little bit. So let's move back to the top. We obviously have Kirishima staying at Sekiwake, Daisho occupying Sekiwake once more by, just surviving basically. And then Hirado Umi 7 and 8 at Komusubi. I feel like he will fall half of a rank maybe to make room for Wakamoto Haru and Oho. After that, we have Shodai occupying this rank up here as well. I think we might see Hirado Umi at the west side and Shodai on the east side. After that, we have Uda. Well, actually, before I do more of the winners, let me do some of the losers first. Takanosho 4 and 11 will probably fall down to somewhere around Maegashira 7. Tobizaru 5 and 10 will fall a couple of ranks as well. I'm going to keep them on the margins first because I want to push up the winners first. So let's see. Then we have Atami Fuji 7 and 8. Realistically could stay at this rank. Realistically could fall. Mitakeumi 4 and 11 from Maegashira 3 will definitely be below Takanosho. Might be above Meisei. Will probably be above Meisei, obviously. Then we have Shodai move up. Koto Shoho, again, could realistically occupy this slot. Uda will move up a couple of ranks. Maegashira 5 could be Maegashira 2. Let's just slot him in right there. Shonnano Umi 3 and 12 from Maegashira 5. He's going to go way down. Meisei is going to go way down. Let's put him at Maegashira 10 for now. Gonoyama might not fall too far. Wakataka Kage, big question here. 12 and 3 Jun Yusho. Maegashira 7. I could see him moving up to that Maegashira 2 spot, dumping down Atami Fuji and Abi just a bit for Wakataka to slot in there. And then Churano Umi has a strong winning record as well, so I think we could see him right up here at Maegashira 3. But again, Abi might be saved, so let's put Churano Umi here. Let's keep Atami Fuji there. Abi here. This looks appropriate. This looks appropriate so far. Not every single 7 and 8 is going to stay at their rank. Then again, Atami Fuji could stay Maegashira 2 west, and Ura stays below. Something like this. I think we have a coin flip situation here. Atami Fuji, Ura coin flip. Or maybe we even have a Wakataka Kage Hirado Umi coin flip situation as well. I'll write that down too. Wakataka Kage Hira coin flip. I'll have to double check with what other people are saying just to, copy their homework a little bit. But let's keep going down. Wakataka Kage, Churano Umi, definitely on the move up. Churano Umi, I think probably will go up a little bit more. The real question is Abi falling. I don't think, if you want to actually check the Banzuke query, Sekiwake 5 and 10, they don't usually fall that far. You can see lots of Maegashira 1s and 2s, lots more 3s, never really falling further than Maegashira 4. So Abi is not going to fall that far. Hirado Umi as well. Komusubi 7 and 8 can easily be replaced as well. Sometimes they only fall a half of a rank. It looks like they never stay at Komusubi though. They will always fall out of Komusubi. So Hirado Umi will fall most of the time to Maegashira 1. Almost all of the time to Maegashira 1. So I think Hirado Umi will stay Maegashira 1 West. Wakataka Kage will stay below because if we want to take a look at Maegashira 7, 12, and 3, let's see, could shoot all the way up to Sekiwake like Kirishima the First did way back when, or sometimes Maegashira 1, Utasegawa, Maegashira 2. Will Wakataka Kage be a little shortchanged here because of the way the rest of the Banzuke falls? Because I really don't think Hirado Umi will fall all the way down to Maegashira 2, and Wakataka will be above Atami Fuji and Ura 100%. So because of the way the Banzuke is falling, Wakataka probably gets boxed out. Shodai, I think he will stay ahead. Hirado Umi, it's still kind of a coin flip there because you either over demote Hirado Umi or under promote Wakataka Kage. They might promote Wakataka appropriately, which is a slight over demotion for Hirado Umi, so that's why there's a coin flip there. I'm gonna keep it like this for now. And then, yeah, Atami Fuji, Ura. Atami Fuji is not gonna fall more than maybe a full rank. Abi is not gonna fall further than Maegashira 3. Churano Umi with his Maegashira 7, 10, and 5. Let's double check that. Let's see. Anywhere from Sekiwake by Koboyama back in 83. Maegashira 1, Maegashira 2. Looks like the median is Maegashira 1. So Maegashira 4 promotion would be, what Meisei had. Koto Nishiki back in the 50s. Shohozan, that's a name I remember. Takayasu, that even happened to him as well, Maegashira 3. So again, we have another situation here where Abi Chura coin flip. Lots of coin flips starting off this Banzuke at the very top. Abi, does he get over promoted, or does he get over demoted? Because we can go back to the Sekiwake 5 and 10. Does Abi get over demoted? Not really over demoted. We saw Tamawashi, Toyonoshima, Kisano Sato. The Yokozuna Kisano Sato fell that far, but then he bounced back with a 13 and 2. And that wasn't a Yusho? What happened in Natsu 2009? Let me guess. Hakuho. Jeez. But I think I'm going to continue favoring the winners over the losers. The only place I won't do that is with Ura, because his 9 and 6 versus, a Churano Umi 10 and 5, he will stay below Ura, of course. Atami Fuji 7 and 8, only falling half of a rank. He could realistically fall another rank. The question is Ura off the back of that 9 and 6, and you know what? I think in every single one of these coin flips, I am going to favor the winner. I'm going to write that down. I am favoring the winner in every coin flip. I think that's an important distinction to make, because I don't think we can be a little inconsistent with, this winner will be below that loser, but that loser will be above that winner. I think we have to keep it consistent. I think Wakataka will be above Hira, Ura will be above Atami, which that's only a 1 full rank demotion for Atami Fuji, whereas Hirado Umi is falling a rank and a half. That's a little harsh, especially for Komusubi. And then Churano Umi, Abi falling from Sekiwake 1, so technically falling a little bit further down the Banzuke to Maegashira 4. And then Koto Shoho could realistically stay here at Maegashira 4. Tobizaru could bump him down. Let's see, Maegashira 1, 5, and 10. And usually Maegashira 3 is the highest, Maegashira 4 and 5. So Tobizaru probably going to be falling to Maegashira 5. Median and mean is definitely Maegashira 5 East. So Tobizaru going to be comfortable putting him there. Let's see, where did we leave off? Wakataka Kage, Churano Umi. We did not do Endo and Midori Fuji. Endo with a small winning record. Let's put him up to Maegashira 6 for now, because Oshoma is definitely going to move up as well. 10 and 5. We could see him above Koto Shoujo. I don't think he is above Abi. I do not believe Oshoma will be above Abi. Let's scooch Koto Shoujo down a half of a rank. Again, 7 and 8, very appropriate to fall that far. Oshoma, let's double check that. He was Maegashira 9 with a 10 and 5. Good number of 10 and 5s. So highest is Komusubi from Tamawashi. See that name so much, don't we? Lots of Maegashira 1s, lots of Maegashira 2s and 3s. The mean seems to be Maegashira 2. The median seems to be Maegashira 2 West. So Maegashira 4, it's not too far of an under promotion, but when you consider, I think, yeah, Churano Umi is definitely going to stay above Oshoma because he also had a 10 and 5. And then Abi is not going to fall further than this. So I think Oshoma slotting in right here is very appropriate. Endo only moving up to Maegashira 6. You could justify Tobizaru falling a bit further, but I like Tobizaru, so I'm not going to do that. I'm cheating for Tobizaru. Not that my guesses will have any impact on anything. Midori Fuji and Maegashira 8, 7, and 8 will keep him here for now. And you can kind of see how things will slot in now that I'm leaving some of these names in the margins. Gonoyama can stay above Midori Fuji, falling a rank. Midori Fuji staying at that rank. Roga could very neatly slot into the Maegashira 6 spot here. But this is where things will get a little complicated. Nishikigi. Actually, let me keep going. Ichiyamamoto, Maegashira 9, Tamawashi, Maegashira 10, Sadano Umi, Maegashira 11, Kageaki, we already have him falling. Busho's on, Kinbo's on, we already have them falling. And then Hokuto Fuji, let's put him up here in the margins, kind of. Nishikigi, I think what might happen here is Nishikigi will push above Takanosho. I think he might even leapfrog Roga as well, and that would send a little bit of a tumble down. So if we put Nishikigi right here where Takanosho is, let's scooch everybody over a half of a rank here. Gonoyama, Takanosho, Nishikigi, bam. Right there. Maegashira 7 for an 11 and 4. That seems like an under promotion for him, but also got to consider what's going on around all of them. Midori Fuji, Ichiyamamoto only falling half of a rank. Again, we can still justify Tamawashi and Sadano Umi falling. I just kept them where they are because we do still have to slot in Ryuden, Takayasu, Takara Fuji, Nishiki Fuji. So let's take a quick look. I do want to double check that 11 and 4 Maegashira 13. Maegashira 13, 11 and 4. Let's see. The highest Maegashira 1, the lowest Maegashira 8. So Nishikigi at Maegashira 7. He could be above Roga. Could he be above Endo, though? Because I think the ceiling is going to be Tobizaru Koto Shoujo here at Maegashira 5. I don't think Nishikigi will be above either of them. Yeah, I don't think Nishikigi will be above either of them. He could realistically be above Endo and Roga here, so I'm going to slot him in there. I'm pretty confident in that slot right there. Because Endo and Roga only have 8 and 7s. Sure, they are much higher rank, but like maybe Nishikigi Endo is a coin flip. Nishi Endo coin flip. But Roga, I think he's going to be below Nishikigi. Then we have Ryuden scooching upwards as well. I'm going to put him out here in the margins. Takayasu will be below Roga. Will he be above... let's see, where's Mitaki? I think he'll be like right here above Midori Fuji and the rest of these guys at 7 and 8. Then we have Takara Fuji, who will probably occupy a similar spot. Onokatsu might stay the same rank at Maegashira 14. Shirokuma is falling, and Nishiki Fuji is on the move up as well. So this is where things are going to get a little tricky, and then we also have to keep open room for these Judio guys. So let's take a quick look and C. We also have to remember we will have a Maegashira 17 West because we have an even number of Ozekis. And remember, Yokozuna is an Ozeki. So let's take a look at how this might shake out. So Meisei, let me double check his rank. He was a Maegashira 6 with a 5 and 10. 5 and 10. Looks like he could fall between Maegashira 7 and Maegashira 15. So that's a pretty big range. It looks like the median is Maegashira 11, Maegashira 10. So I think having Meisei here in this mix is not bad. I do believe, again, that we will be seeing Takayasu above Midori Fuji, but below Mitakeumi and Gonoyama. So let's scooch everybody down one, basically, to make room for Takayasu. Scooch Ichi Yamamoto down to make room for Takara Fuji. We could even continue scooching guys down to make room for Hokuto Fuji and Ryuden. Because again, Midori Fuji, falling 2 ranks with a 7 and 8 is a little harsh. But to be fair, well, actually, maybe does Hokuto Fuji rise above with his 8 and 7? You know what? Let's keep Hokuto Fuji and Ryuden below Midori Fuji. Ichi Yamamoto will fall to Maegashira 10 West, falling a rank and a half. Midori Fuji will fall a rank and a half. Let's put Hokuto Fuji in here. Tamawashi will fall a rank and a half. Sada no Umi can also scooch over. Ryuden. We can actually have Sada no Umi fall a full... no, 2 ranks is still a little harsh. But we do have to fit Meisei and Nishiki Fuji in somewhere. Shonan no Umi, 3 and 12 from Maegashira 5. Let's see. Maegashira 5, 3 and 12. Doesn't happen too often. The floor seems to be Maegashira 15. Around Maegashira 13. So we can scooch Shonan no Umi down a little bit further. It's just a matter of fitting in Meisei and Nishiki Fuji here, because it looks like we might have to over-demote some of these 7 and 8s, or maybe we under-promote some of these 8 and 7s, because we have seen that before. We have seen something like, Sada no Umi moving up from Maegashira 14 to 13. You know what I mean? We do have to fit Meisei in somewhere here as well. So maybe, let's see, Midori Fuji falling a rank and a half. Ichi Yamamoto falling a rank and a half. I don't think I want to have them fall any further than that. Tamawashi falling a rank and a half. Slot Meisei here at Maegashira 11. Sada no Umi falls a rank and a half. It might be a little harsh. Well, actually, Nishiki Fuji can be lower. We can actually have Nishiki Fuji lower. We can put Hokuto Fuji has to be above Ryuden. So let's do something like this. Shonan no Umi and Nishiki Fuji. That looks good, right? Onokatsu keeps his rank 7 and 8. Kitano Waka survives just because of the way the Banzuke shakes out. Then we can have Chiyoshoma, Toki Hayate, Shishi, Takeru Fuji, Asakoryu slips in with that last slot. I think it shakes itself out here. I think this is an appropriate spot. Let's see. I do want to kind of double check Takanosho. Maegashira 1 with a 4 and 11. Can fall as far as Maegashira 11. Putting him at Maegashira 7 seems to be the median. Yeah, okay, so Takanosho, where he is. It really is just a question of what they're going to do with all these 7 and 8s. And I feel like having them all fall a rank and a half is a little harsh. But I mean, Takayasu and Takada Fuji, I think they have to move up together, you know? They're both 10 and 5 from the same rank. They could move up like an extra half of a rank or not as high half of a rank, but they have to move up. Let me check Maegashira 15, 10, and 5, and that actually kills two birds with one stone. So, not 11. 10 and 5 from Maegashira 15. Let's see. Highest is Maegashira 4. Recently, Hideno Umi up to Maegashira 6. Lowest Maegashira 12. Maegashira 8, 7, 8, and 9 seems to be the most appropriate place to put them. But again, I don't think Gonoyama is going to fall that far. Neither will Mitakeumi. So I feel like Takayasu and Takada Fuji have to be above, you know, Midori Fuji and the rest of those 7 and 8s. So I think this is appropriate. I think this middle right here, because it's really nice, I think, when some of the losers act as a ceiling for some of the winners, like Abi did earlier. Maegashira 4 from a 5 and 10 Sekiwake. That's a bit of an over demotion, but there's realistically no way he falls any further than that. So now we can slot in Oshoma, Kotoshoho, and Tobizaru perfectly. Tobizaru and Kotoshoho acting as a ceiling for Nishikigi and Endo. I really don't think Nishikigi's 11 and 4 from Maegashira 13 will bump down Kotoshoho's 7 and 8 from Maegashira 4. Like, I really don't think there's any way Nishikigi is going to be above Kotoshoho. As far as this risky Judio selection goes, I really believe that Kitana Waka can survive, and the 3 and 12, 4 and 11, 4 and 11, those are just awful. Those have to fall. Like, that is beyond terrible. Like, if Keen Bolzan or Bushozan had a 5 and 10, then maybe they would be the one saved instead of Kitana Waka. But, that's ugly. That's a bad record. So I think this shakes itself out really well. Again, the big questions are going to be these coin flips near the top. I think they're going to want Wakataka Kage at Maegashira 1. I think they're going to want Chudano Umi at Maegashira 3. I think, maybe. I think the weakest coin flip I have here is Chudano Umi over Abi. I realistically think Abi stays above him. But I want to be consistent in the winners being above the losers in that like 50-50 scenario. So I'm putting Ura above Atami Fuji. I'm putting Wakataka above Hirado Umi. I'm putting Churano Umi above Abi. And then in all other situations, there really isn't a coin flip Nishikigi over Kotoshoho Tobizaru. Like, I think Nishikigi just stays below them. I think Takayasu and Takada Fuji just stay below these guys. And then, excuse me. The awkwardness really comes in with those 8 and 7s near the bottom compared to the 7 and 8s and other poor records. So let me just look at like Shonan no Umi again. 3 and 12 from Maegashira 5. You could put Nishiki Fuji over him, but Nishiki Fuji also only had an 8 and 7 from Maegashira 17, whereas that is one thing you come to notice over time is they are more lenient towards big losers at the top, which is why Abi is not going to fall further than like Maegashira 3, 4. Tobizaru is not going to fall further than Maegashira 5. I don't believe that will happen. Hirado Umi will not fall further, or probably should not have fallen further than Maegashira 1, but I think they'll favor Wakataka Kage. People are excited by Wakataka Kage. And I think there's a little storyline to be told there with Wakataka Kage and Wakamoto Haru being right next to each other on the Banzuke again. So I think they're going to favor the winners in those scenarios. Whereas near the bottom here, very weak winning records for Hokuto Fuji Ryu Den, only moving up 1 rank. That doesn't look good. But realistically, you're not going to over-demote all of those 7 and 8s in the middle. Midori Fuji, Ichi Yamamoto, Tamawashi, Sarana Umi. Like, those guys falling a rank and a half already, I feel like is too harsh. And then Meisei, the question of Meisei, sure, you could put Meisei below Sarano Umi maybe. But again, I feel like that would be an over demotion. So these are my solid spots that I'm going to put them in. And then I'm taking the risk at the bottom of the Banzuke here. Takeru Fuji and Asakori making it up. And now, if you excuse me for un momento, I'm going to go see if other people are currently playing the Banzuke guessing game and cheat off of their homework just a little bit. Let's see. I don't see. Let's see. I don't see anyone else's guesses at the moment. Maybe I'm going a little too far back. Here we go. Here's one person's guesses. Let me see if I can't pull up another person's guesses. Looks like we only have one other person that has submitted their guesses in the LeoDSumo Discord so far. Here's another person. I'm not the only one thinking Takeru Fuji and Asakori will make it up. Here is another person. All right, so we'll just take a look at these three examples as I read a quick text message. Let's see. This first one. Let's see. They have Kirishima Daisho, Wakamoto Haru Oho, of course. Shodai, they have Hirado Umi staying above Wakataka Kage, but then they have Ura and Churano Umi above Atami Fuji and Abi. Now, again, I feel like that is a very appropriate call to make, but I think they're going to favor Wakataka Kage. Then they have Abi Oshoma, Tobizaru Koto Shoho. I have them different sides. And then they have Nishikigi all the way up to Maegashira 6, which I have as well. They have Takanosho not falling as far, which maybe Takanosho does stay above Endo and Roga. Does Takanosho, let's see, Maegashira 1, 4 and 11. Endo and Roga only have 8 and 7s. Yeah, you know what? I think that's a good call. I'm going to keep Takanosho above Endo and Roga. I think that's a really good call. Let's see. Then they have Gonoyama next to Endo. I have Gonoyama below Roga, which let me just double check. Gonoyama 6 and 9, Roga 8 and 7 from Maegashira 10. That could be another coin flip, which again, I'm favoring the winner in every single coin flip. So Roga Gono coin flip. And I feel like it's appropriate to favor the winner here. Let's see. Mitake Yumi, I have him there. And then they have Midori Fuji and Ichi Yamamoto only falling a half of a rank. Takayasu and Takeda Fuji staying below them. And then Tamawashi falling 1 full rank. Instead, I have all of these guys falling a little bit further, and he has Meisei on the other side of Tamawashi from me. Meisei could realistically fall a bit further. So maybe there's a Meisei Tamawashi coin flip here. Meisei Tamawashi coin flip. So maybe there's a coin flip there. Hokuto Fuji, Sarana Umi, Ryuden, Shonana Umi. They have Chiyoshoma coming up this far next to Onokatsu. I don't blame them, but usually they're not that kind to Judio promotions. Ishiki Fuji, Toki Hayate, Shishi, Takeru Fuji, and then they have Bushozan and Keen Bolzan surviving. They don't have Asakoryu coming up. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't dislike that call. That is a very interesting guess right there. So let's see this other person's guesses. Let's see. Wakamoto Haru Oho, Shodai. They also have Hirado Umi staying above Wakataka. Uda, Atami Fuji, Churana Umi, Abi Oshoma. Very similar to the last one, but they have Endo coming all the way up to Maegashira 5. Now, I just don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Endo is not gonna come up that far. Tobizaru, Takanosho next to each other. Realistically could happen. Nishikigi, a rank lower, has Roga next to Nishikigi. Interesting. So they're favoring Endo over Nishikigi, which I don't think that's going to happen. Let's come up from the bottom again. Asakoryu, Takeru Fuji. They also save Bushozan. They don't save Kitano Waka. Interesting. Nishiki Fuji not being as promoted. Toki Hayate Shishi. Chiyoshoma. I don't think Chiyoshoma goes up that far. They're usually not that kind to these promoted guys. Usually not that kind. But we can see lots of differences between this guess and mine. Lots of differences. They only have these guys falling one rank. They have Midori Fuji staying at Maegashira 8. Takayasu and Takada Fuji below them. And then Ichiyamamoto, Tamawashi. Let's see. Who do they have above? They over-demote Gonoyama. See, that's my issue. I don't have Gonoyama going that low. That's what's making this interesting. Okay, that's another interesting guess. And then this last example, let's see. Okay, this last example is interesting because they only have the 3 promotions and they save Bushozan. They only have Nishiki Fuji moving up. That doesn't seem right. Oh, they don't have Maegashira 17 listed out yet. So they don't know if they're going to save. I guess they don't know if they're going to save more people or eliminate or rise more people. But taking it from the top, Shodai, Hirado Umi. Oh, everyone thinks Hirado Umi is going to be at Maegashira 1. I'm sticking with Wakataka Kage because that's the thing about, winning these types of games is giving yourself that one tricky pick that if you get it right, you're going to be beating out a lot of people. That's part of the reason why in Kachi Clash, I constantly pick Tobizaru because sometimes he does make that tricky pick work and other times he doesn't. And it's those times that it works. Or like, when I won Kachi Clash, that Takanosho pick, that one tricky pick that no one else thinks of, that's what gets you the win. Because if you pick the same thing as everybody else, then sure, you'll probably have an average score, but you need to do those little quirky picks in order to put yourself above other people. It's high risk, high reward. And that's why I'm going to keep Wakataka Kage at Maegashira 1. Let's see. Ura, Chura no Umi. The top is basically the same as everybody else's, it looks like. Kotoshoho, Tobizaru. They still have Endo over Nishikigi. I don't think Endo is going to be above Nishikigi, but a lot of other people seem to think that. Very fair, I think. Gonoyama, Mitake Yumi. They also have an over demotion for Gonoyama, which I can see them trying to save Midori Fuji, but I think there's the consistency that needs to be had. You can't save Midori Fuji and then have all of the other guys at 7 and 8 fall a rank. You know what I mean? I think you have to be a little bit more consistent there. They also separate Takayasu and Takada Fuji, which we've seen things like that before. So I'm not going to fault them for that. It looks like they really do want to save all of these 7 and 8s. Ichiyamamoto only falling a half of a rank. But the way I'm doing it, where all of those 7 and 8s fall a rank and a half, I think the consistency there is what makes the most sense. And then, of course, they have Chiyoshoma up to Maegashira 13. Let's see, Meisei, Maegashira 11. That's where I have him next to Tamawashi. I just have them on the opposite sides. Sada no Umi next to Hokuto Fuji. I just have them on the opposite sides. Ryuden, Chiyoshoma. I don't think Chiyoshoma is going to go up that far. I really don't. Toki Hayate, Shishi. And then they have Onokatsu falling down to Maegashira 14. Yep, that's where I have him. Shonan no Umi falling down to Maegashira 15. I don't have him falling that far. I think that's an over demotion. And then Bushozan being saved, that's a little much, I think. And then they don't have their Maegashira 17s listed out. So, yeah, I mean, another interesting round of picks. I do appreciate the fact that they're so similar yet so different from each other. Like all three of these guesses are similar but different enough, as are mine. And that's what makes guessing the Banzuke so much fun. And overall, I think the real quirk here is the fact that Takakeisho retires, because again, if he doesn't retire, they could realistically save Bushozan, Kinbolzan, drop Kitana Waka, and then we only have 3 promotions. But because of this little quirk, I don't believe you can save Bushozan. I do believe you could save Kitana Waka because of the quirk that the Banzuke is doing, because the 4 and 11 is much harsher than the 6 and 9, and we can even take a look. Maegashira, let's see, Maegashira 16, 6 and 9. Let's see. Maegashira 16 east to west back in 2007 for Kakizoe. A lot of these guys surviving back when there was a Maegashira 20 rank, a little testy there. But Judio 1, Judio 2, Judio 3, I think the Judio 1 East, again, it's just a little quirky, I think because of what we saw at the previous tournament, a Maegashira 17 surviving with a 6 and 9. Here, I think it's more likely because, again, the Intai. If Takakeisho was still on the Banzuke, Kitana Waka gets bumped down, at least to Maegashira 17 West. Asakoryu doesn't make it, which I feel like would be a lot more appropriate. And my Banzuke, if Takakeisho was still on it, would have Takeru Fuji and Kitana Waka, not Asakoryu. Asakoryu is definitely an over promotion here, but it's only an over promotion if we think Takakeisho stays on the Banzuke, which he isn't. And so because someone so high up is being ripped off the top, everything below has to move up. And that's part of the reason why, some of our fan favorites like Koto Tebakari and Nabatame are going to be making it up to that salaried status again. So I didn't mention Aonishiki because it was pretty clear cut that he's going to make it. But it really makes the Banzuke guessing interesting. The Takakeisho retirement, the Myogiryu and Aoyama retirements. Sure, Myogiryu and Aoyama were going to fall anyway, but that has implications for even further down. Koto Yusho also retired. I didn't know that. That's a lot of guys pretty high up that are retiring. Aoi is retiring. Daiseiryu. Let's see. Guy retiring after a 5 and 2. And what that is going to do is kind of pull people up. And that will influence a lot of things in these lower divisions. Like we saw Hatsuyama, Makushita 16 East with a 7 and 0 Yusho. If he was up 1/2 of a rank, he gets a salaried status now, because that's kind of the rule. Makushita 15, 7 and 0 Yusho, you get that salary. So now the question is, who is going to move up into some of these slots? Who is going to occupy Makushita 15 thanks to some of these, these 3, 4 retirements? Could we see someone like Kyokukayu or Matsui, Kurohimeyama, Nihon Yanagi occupy Makushita 15? Or maybe someone falling down, will Kita Daichi stay up there, skin of his teeth, and stay up there, And although, in the long run, someone like Kita Daichi is probably not going to get that 7 and 0 Yusho from Makushita 15, it's a very long shot. But that does matter. That does matter. Having that slightly higher rank is going to matter. And again, going from Takakeisho Intai, that slightly higher rank being eliminated gives Asakoryu that slightly higher rank, in my opinion. It's a wild card pick. Again, you got to make those crazy picks somehow to really hammer things home. But you know what? Let's do a little thing here. Let's just shift some things around. Let's actually make Onokatsu lose a rank. Chiyoshoma go up to Maegashira 14. Just for fun. Just for fun. And I think this is going to be my Banzuke guess. I'm not gonna do the thing where I wait to see other people's guesses, because I usually don't do that. I lose track of time and then I need to, scramble to submit my answers. So I'm just, as soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm going to put them in right away, because I always forget to put my guesses in. Additionally, as we are ending this video, Kachi Clash has introduced a new stable system. So if you want to join Dickinson Bea, be sure to leave your name in the comments down below. That way I can add you. We already have over 30 members. I can open up a second stable if I need to fit everybody in there. So, just leave a comment down below with your name in Kachi Clash. I will try to get to you. Some people have already put their names down, and honestly, I haven't been able to find you. So maybe I'm misspelling it. Maybe you misspelled it. But that is going to be it from us for the Guess the Banzuke game. I'm pretty confident in these picks. Then again, I always am, and I always get bottom half. So we'll see how it goes. I will try to get to a Mita video, because, those Futagoyama stable guys, super duper popular. More views on the channel. And in the meantime, I'm also going to be trying to upload shorts of individual matches from those top 10 videos, from some of those favorite sumo wrestler videos as well, to kind of keep it going. So be sure to support the shorts. Be sure to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing, and be sure to support me financially by buying yourself some tea using the link in the description down below from Path of Cha. Thank you again for watching, and we will catch you cats at the next tournament. The next sumo tournament will begin. It is the second Sunday of November, so the Saturday 9th going into 10th for those of you in the Americas. I realize I'm in the way of the calendar again. For those of you in the Western Hemisphere, Saturday the 9th going into the 10th. For those of you in the Eastern Hemisphere, the rest of the world basically, Sunday the 10th is when the next tournament will begin. And we will see you there.